Today, I want to talk to you about having an idea and then turning that idea into tangible product and then seeing how that product reacts within a marketplace. Firstly, I want you to think about an idea that you have had, an idea you had maybe in the past or you're currently having. It could be an idea for a product or a business venture or even organizing an event. How did you handle that idea? And what are you doing about that idea? Behind me is an apple, as you're probably all aware. This was the inspiration for an idea that I had. It was an idea for a protective packaging solution, which was initially developed for the surfboard market, and then also has huge applications in other market sectors, such as the drinks and bottles markets, industrial sector, automotive, and homeware markets. The journey started a couple of years ago when I bought a surfboard online. I went to this super slick, well-designed website, found a surfboard I liked, clicked on the surfboard, and bought it. For any of you who don't know, surfboards can cost anywhere upwards of £600 and are made of incredibly fragile materials. And so they need well protecting in transit. A couple of days later, this large box arrives at my house. I open it up to what I can only describe as a sea of bubble wrap. I don't know any other products worth, commercially available products worth upwards of £600, which just come rolled up in reams and reams of bubble wrap. And secondly, I've been surfing for over 30 years, and I've seen the devastating kind of effects plastics have had on our marine environment. This photo was taken on the beaches in southwest France by a friend of mine who's a surf photographer called Tim Nunn. And this was after at one winter down in France, you get this huge accumulations of plastics in the Bay of Biscay. And when the onshore winds and storms come in, all the plastics are deposited on the beaches. And the French government have to do this huge cleanup operation before the tourist season starts. And I didn't want to be a consumer which was going to be adding to this problem. So I felt there must be a better solution for packaging surfboards. So I started researching other packaging solutions and researching the industry. The industry is worth upwards of $50 billion, with over 400,000 surfboards being made each year. And it turns out this is industry standard way of packaging surfboards. So this sounded like an opportunity. But what would it look like? For me, it had to fit 3 criteria. The materials it was made of would have to be environmentally friendly, a low impact on this planet, either recycled or 100% recyclable. It also needs to add value to the brand. So when you receive the product, it was a joy to open. It was a pleasurable experience. And also you could potentially reuse the packaging or recycle it. And thirdly, the slightly more complex one is that surfboards come in all shapes and sizes, varying from 9 foot down to 4 foot. So how would you make a product which fits that variety of different sizes? And I sat with these thoughts for quite a few months. And one day, I was in a supermarket looking at the way fruit was packaged. And I suddenly clicked. If you can package fruit, which comes in all different shapes and sizes, with this simple kind of mesh, ironically foam sleeve. Surely you must be able to package a surfboard in a similar way. So I went into quite a really kind of frenzied design stage, looking at lots of different options, sketching out ideas, kind of waking up at 3 a.m. in the morning, going into the kitchen, cutting out cereal boxes to see if I could engineer cardboard to sort of fit round sort of certain curves. I was hoping I could find a solution. But as I was developing ideas, I was also getting a huge amount of resistance in my mind, possibly through fear of failure, or even sort of unknown or uncharted waters, going into a journey I wasn't really knowing what to expect. And as I was developing ideas, I was kind of putting ideas like sort of on the shelf and forgetting, not wanting to almost deal with them. And I'm going to come back to your idea that you had, because for me, this was a really, really pivotal point in the journey, in my journey, where I could have just shelved the idea. But a friend of mine, her father was an entrepreneur. In fact, she invented the first pooper scooper. You may laugh, but actually, the proceeds of that, he managed to put his daughter through college on. But his mantra was, if you have an idea, just make it happen. And for me, that really, really resonated. Because I had the concept, but I wasn't making it into a product. My job, I run a commercial interior design agency with my twin brother. We're actually mirror twins. So my right side of the brain is more dominant, meaning I'm left-handed and more creative, whereas Will's left-hand side of the brain is more dominant, meaning he's right-handed and organized. So it's a good combination in business. But we decided to take this concept as a project into our existing business. We isolated a small sum of money, and we started researching it on a whole new level, looking at lots of materials, lots of different options. And we eventually happened upon this material called honeycomb, paper honeycomb. And it's a commercially available material. And it's used by stretching it out open and putting a panel top and bottom to create things like doors or exhibition panels, like rigid panels. But it had some unique properties in the way it flexed and formed. But no one had ever considered doing this. So we started playing around with ideas and playing around with prototypes. And we eventually developed this product, which is really, really low volume in its raw form, but expands open to form and flex around objects. And it's a simple sleeve. With a little more prototyping, we managed to make it fit perfectly around a surfboard, and it went on in seconds. So we felt we had a really interesting product here and a possible solution. So we packaged the surfboard, thought about the worst courier we could think of, and we sent it off around Europe for a couple of weeks. And it arrived back in the office, we opened it up, and it was in perfect condition. So we felt, we've got a product here. This is exciting. So we got a small batch made. We sent it out to surfboard manufacturers and some surfboard shapers, local surfboard shapers, and got them to trial the product. We were super buzzing, excited about the product. And the results were mixed at best. Some people absolutely loved the product. It was saving them time packaging surfboards, it was reducing damage to their surfboards, and it was also a much more environmentally friendly material. But also we were getting a lot of resistance from some other companies, but no real substance about why they didn't like the product. But we believed in the product. But we took their feedback seriously as well. So a couple of months later, we launched the product. We got a small batch made again. We launched the product on a globally renowned surfing website. And the next morning, we came into around about 250 emails in our inbox from all around the world and are following 100 emails a day for the next 3 or 4 months. We were absolutely inundated with kind of interest on the product. And we had to kind of like expand and grow the business rapidly in order to deal with the demand. And we're now selling in 10 countries globally, and have, in the last 12 months, we've managed to remove around about 150 kilometers of bubble wrap out of the surf industry using the FlexiHex product. But what really excites me is the potential for the product in other market sectors and other industries. So we've recently launched a series of products specifically for the drinks industry and the bottle industry. And we're now working with some of the largest brands, the drinks brands in the world, developing products specifically for the e-commerce market. Because again, the drinks industry is dominated by protective packaging, which is a plastic-based protective packaging. So we have a solution which offers a huge amount of protection, which is 100% recyclable. And other market sectors, including the industrial and homeware markets, we're also exploring. I want to leave you with a final thought. Did you know that when bubble wrap was first invented, it was originally designed as a wallpaper? So if you do have an idea and you're not sure if it will work or not, maybe just make it happen, because you never know where that journey will take you. Thank you.